This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Carol Good. www.soundsgood.com. How to Cook Fish by Olive Green. Section 12. 67 Ways to Cook Codfish. Baked Codfish 1. Rub the inside of a small fresh cod with butter and lemon juice and put on a buttered drainer in a fish kettle. Rub with butter, sprinkle with chopped mushrooms, shallots, and parsley, lemon juice, and minced garlic. Pour over the fish 3 cupfuls of white wine. Bring to the boil and simmer for an hour and a half. Baste as required. Thicken the liquor with butter and flour and serve with sauce. Baked Codfish 2. Stuff the fish with seasoned crumbs and season with pepper and salt. Pour over 2 cupfuls of sherry and a tablespoonful of mushroom catsup. Add 2 cupfuls of stock, cover with buttered paper, and bake, basting often. When nearly done, sprinkle with breadcrumbs and dot with butter and bake until brown. Take up the fish carefully. Add a teaspoonful of beef extract and a little anchovy paste to the liquor in the baking pan. Strain, add 2 tablespoonfuls of butter and the juice of half a lemon. Bring to the boil, pour over the fish, and serve. Baked Codfish 3. Prepare according to directions given for Baked Codfish 1, adding a pint of parboiled oysters to the sauce. Baked Salt Codfish. Prepare the fish according to directions given in the recipe for boiled salted cod. Mix with an equal quantity of mashed potatoes. Season. Add 2 tablespoonfuls of melted butter and enough hot milk to make very soft. Put into a buttered baking dish. Rub with butter and bake until brown. Serve with cream or drawn butter sauce. Creamed and baked codfish. Put in a stoneware platter creamed codfish prepared according to directions elsewhere given, and surround with a border of mashed potatoes beaten light with an egg. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Baked Codfish à la Montreal. Butter a baking dish and put in the center a large piece of prepared codfish. Surround with boiled potatoes. Rub all thoroughly with butter. Season with pepper and salt, and bake in the oven, basting frequently. Serve in the same dish, sprinkling with minced parsley. Baked Codfish à la Nantucket. Prepare a stuffing of 1 cupful of cracker crumbs, 1 cupful of oysters, 1/4 cupful of melted butter, and salt, pepper, minced parsley, and lemon juice to season. Clean a 4-pound cod. Sprinkle with salt and pepper. Brush over with lemon juice. Stuff and sew. Rub with butter. Sprinkle with crumbs and add sufficient boiling water to keep from burning. Bake until done, basting as required. Baked Codfish with cheese sauce. Rub the fish with butter and lemon juice. Put it on the grating in the baking pan. Season with salt and pepper and bake, pouring a cupful of white stock under the grating. Take up the fish, cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Strain the liquid, thicken with butter rolled in flour, and season with lemon juice, grated onion, and 4 tablespoonfuls of grated Parmesan cheese. Bring to the boil and serve poured round the fish. Quick baked codfish. Put a thick slice of codfish into a baking pan. Rub with butter, season with pepper and salt, and add sufficient boiling water to moisten. Bake for half an hour, basting frequently. Thicken the gravy with butter and flour, pour over the fish, and serve. Baked rock cod with dressing. Season breadcrumbs with grated onion, sage, salt, and pepper. Add a tablespoonful of butter broken into bits and sufficient milk to moisten. Fill and sew up the fish. Lay in a baking pan on thin slices of salt pork. Rub with butter and cover with thin slices of pork. Pour over 2 tablespoonfuls of tomato catsup and half a cupful of boiling water. Bake for an hour, basting frequently. Baked cod à la Bedford. Soak the cleaned fish for 2 hours in olive oil seasoned with salt, pepper, and Worcestershire. Drain and put into a baking dish. Rub with butter and sprinkle with crumbs. Add 2 wineglassfuls of Catawba wine and 2 cupfuls of oyster liquor. Cover with buttered paper and bake for 40 minutes. Take up the fish, thicken the sauce with butter and flour, season with lemon juice and minced parsley, pour around the fish, and serve. Baked codfish with cream. Parboil part of a codfish in salted water. Remove the bones and put the pieces into a baking dish in layers, with cream sauce and seasoning between. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, sprinkle with grated nutmeg, and bake. Boiled salt codfish 1. Soak 2 pounds of salted cod overnight. Put into fresh water. Bring to the boil and serve with melted butter. Boiled salt codfish 2. Soak the fish overnight. Change the water and simmer until done. Serve with a drawn butter sauce. Boiled salted codfish with egg sauce. Prepare the fish according to directions given in the preceding recipe. Cook 1 teaspoonful of cornmeal until thick in 1 cupful of milk. Add 1 cupful of mashed potatoes, the codfish chopped, 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, 2 well-beaten eggs, and pepper to taste. Prepare an egg sauce. Pour over the fish and serve. Boiled codfish with oyster sauce. Boil the fish in salted water. Season with pepper, cloves, and lemon peel. Prepare a cream sauce and cook oysters in it until the edges curl. Pour over the fish and serve. Boiled codfish with cream sauce. Boil the codfish slowly in salted water. Melt 2 tablespoonfuls of butter. Add 2 tablespoonfuls of flour and cook thoroughly. Add 2 cupfuls of cream and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Add salt, pepper, and anchovy paste to season. Pour over the fish. Sprinkle with minced parsley and serve. Boiled codfish à la Hollandaise. Boil the fish according to directions previously given and serve with Hollandaise sauce. Boiled codfish with caper sauce 1. Prepare according to directions given for boiled codfish with cream sauce, omitting the anchovy paste and adding 2 tablespoonfuls each of capers and melted butter. Boiled codfish with caper sauce 2. Boil a small fresh codfish in court bouillon and allow it to cool partially in the liquor. Serve with caper sauce. Boiled codfish creamed. Sew up the fish in a cloth dredged with flour and boil in salted and acidulated water. Unwrap and serve with sauce made of half a cupful each of milk and boiling water. Thicken with 2 tablespoonfuls of butter rolled in flour. Take from the fire, add 2 eggs well beaten, and salt, pepper, and minced parsley to season. Add a tablespoonful of capers or tarragon vinegar. Pour over the fish and garnish with slices of hard-boiled eggs. Boiled codfish with egg sauce. Prepare the fish according to directions given in the recipe for boiled codfish with oyster sauce. Serve with egg sauce. Codfish balls with egg sauce. Free 2 pounds of fresh cod from all bones. Chop it and season with salt, pepper, grated nutmeg, and a little finely chopped lemon peel, adding chopped parsley, marjoram, a little soaked breadcrumbs with the water drained out well. Mix with 2 unbeaten eggs and form into balls the size of a tomato. Fry a large sliced onion in 2 ounces of butter and a cupful of boiling water. Let it boil up, then put in the balls. When cooked, beat 3 eggs. Strain in the juice of 2 large lemons, adding a little chopped parsley. Stir this well in without letting it boil. Then dish up the balls and strain the sauce over. Garnish with parsley. If liked, add 3 or 4 cut-up tomatoes to the balls. Codfish à la Creole. 1. Flake 1 pound of cooked codfish, add it to 1 cupful of boiled rice, half a can of tomatoes strained, a chopped onion, 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, and salt and pepper to season. Cook slowly for half an hour. Codfish à la Creole 2. Soak overnight 2 pounds of salt codfish. Fry brown in lard a chopped onion and a bean of garlic. Mix with 3 tablespoonfuls of browned flour and cook thoroughly. Add a can of tomatoes which have been rubbed through a sieve and simmered until very thick. Drain and rinse the fish. Pour boiling water upon it and let stand until cool. Pick out the bones, add to the sauce, and reheat. Codfish puffs. Prepare the fish according to directions given in the preceding recipe. Mix with an equal quantity of mashed potatoes, add a heaping tablespoonful of butter, and mix thoroughly, using a little hot cream to moisten it. Add 4 eggs well beaten and mix thoroughly. Drop by spoonfuls into boiling fat and fry brown. Codfish au gratin. Cook in court bouillon and cool in the liquor. Scrape off the skin, take out the bones, and put in the baking dish in which it is to be served. Sprinkle it thickly with grated cheese and pour over a bechamel sauce. Sprinkle with crumbs and bake golden brown. Escalloped codfish and macaroni. Mix together equal parts of cooked and broken macaroni and flaked boiled cod. Mix with cream sauce. Fill a buttered baking dish. Sprinkle thickly with grated cheese. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Fricasseed salt codfish. Soak overnight in cold water 2 pounds of salt codfish. Take out the bones, cover with fresh water, and bring to the boil. Fry in olive oil 2 chopped onions and a green pepper with a sliced tomato, a bruised clove of garlic, and a chili pepper. Add 6 cupfuls of stock, 3 tablespoonfuls of tomato catsup, a tablespoonful of minced parsley, and 2 cupfuls of peeled raw potatoes cut into dice. Cook until the potatoes are nearly done. Then add the codfish and boil for 5 or 10 minutes. Creamed codfish. Flake cold cooked codfish or salted codfish which has been soaked and boiled. Mix with a cream sauce, adding 1 or 2 well-beaten eggs to the sauce just before serving. Escalloped codfish with cheese. Prepare according to directions given for creamed codfish. Cover with grated cheese, crumbs, and butter, and bake in the oven. Broiled salt codfish. Soak 2 pounds of salt codfish overnight. In the morning, change the water, add a chopped onion, bring to the boil, and cool. Drain, wipe dry, rub with melted butter, and broil. Serve with drawn butter sauce. Codfish soufflé. Boil half a pound of salt codfish according to directions previously given. Mash the fish and mix with 2 cupfuls of mashed potatoes, pepper to season, and the yolks of 2 eggs well beaten. Beat thoroughly. Fold in the stiffly beaten whites of the eggs and bake in a hot oven until well puffed and brown. Codfish and macaroni. Soak overnight half a pound of salt codfish. Boil for 20 minutes 2 ounces of broken macaroni. Melt 1 tablespoonful of butter. Add 1 of flour and cook thoroughly. Add 1 cupful of stewed and strained tomatoes and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Season with salt, pepper, and grated onion. Add the fish and macaroni and cook for an hour in a double boiler. Codfish à la bonne femme. Soak overnight 3 pounds of salt codfish. Boil for 25 minutes a quart of peeled potatoes with salt, parsley, a clove, and an onion in the water. Add the fish and cook for 10 minutes longer. Arrange the fish on a platter with the drained potatoes for a border. Melt 1 teaspoonful of butter, add 1 of flour, and cook thoroughly. Add 2 cupfuls of water in which the fish was cooked and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Take from the fire and add the yolks of 2 eggs beaten with a teaspoonful of vinegar and a tablespoonful of melted butter. Season with pepper, pour over the fish and the potatoes, and serve. Codfish à la Beauregard. Prepare according to directions given for creamed codfish, using fresh codfish and omitting the egg. Serve on buttered toast and cover with hard-boiled eggs rubbed through a sieve. Stewed codfish à la Lincoln. Clean and bone 4 pounds of fresh codfish. Slice and scald 2 small onions. Drain and fry soft in salt pork fat. Cut the fish into cubes and season with salt and pepper. Boil the bones in water to cover, with onion and pork fat. Put the fish into a buttered saucepan and strain the boiling liquid over it, using enough to cover. Add the juice of half a lemon and thicken with 1 heaping tablespoonful of butter cooked with 2 of flour. Season with salt, pepper, minced parsley, and tomato or mushroom catsup. Just before the fish is done, add 1 quart of drained oysters and cook until the oysters are plump. Boiled cod's tongue with egg sauce. Soak the tongues overnight. Change the water and boil for 10 minutes. Serve with drawn butter sauce. Fried codfish tongues. Wash the tongues, dip in cold milk, and roll in seasoned flour. Fry in butter and serve with tomato sauce. Cod's tongues à la poulette. Prepare according to directions given for boiled cod's tongues with egg sauce, and serve with a poulette sauce, using for liquid the water in which the tongues were boiled. Codfish tongues à la beurre noir. Prepare the tongues according to directions given in the recipe for boiled cod's tongues with egg sauce. Drain and serve with brown butter, seasoned with salt, pepper, minced parsley, and lemon juice. Codfish fritters. Cut into strips fresh boiled cod or freshened and boiled salt cod. Dip in fritter batter and fry in deep fat. Deviled codfish. Flake cold cooked fish. Mix with an equal quantity of breadcrumbs, the yolks of 2 hard-boiled eggs, and melted butter, grated onion, minced parsley, and pepper and salt to season. Add milk or oyster liquor to moisten, and fill buttered shells. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Codfish à la Seville. Wash and dry 1 cupful of rice. Brown it in olive oil and drain. Put into a stew pan and cover with fillets of fresh cod fried in the oil. Add a sliced onion fried, half a dozen sliced tomatoes, and salt, cayenne, and lemon juice to season. Add 2 cupfuls of stock. Put a buttered paper on top, cover the pan, and bake half an hour in the oven. Take out the fish carefully. Mix the rice and seasoning together and serve as a border around the fish. Codfish à la Béchamel. Prepare according to directions given for creamed codfish, omitting the egg and using white stock and milk in equal parts instead of cream. Escalloped codfish à la Béchamel. Prepare according to directions given for codfish à la Béchamel, adding the yolks of 3 eggs. Arrange in a baking dish with layers of seasoned crumbs and add sufficient milk to moisten. Cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. Codfish à la Flamande. Prepare boiled codfish according to directions previously given. Melt 1 tablespoonful of butter and cook it in a teaspoonful of flour. Add 1 cupful of boiling water and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Take from the fire. Add the yolks of 2 eggs well beaten, 4 tablespoons of made mustard, and pepper, vinegar, grated nutmeg, and minced parsley to season. Add gradually half a cup of melted butter. Pour over the fish and serve. Stewed codfish à la Shrewsbury. Stuff the fish with drained oysters and seasoned crumbs, adding 2 tablespoonfuls of butter in small bits. Sew up, put on the grating in a fish kettle, seasoning with salt, pepper, and minced parsley. Dot with butter and add the oyster liquor and 2 cupfuls each of stock and water. Simmer for 40 minutes, basting as required. Take up the fish, thicken the sauce with butter and flour cooked together, and boil for 10 minutes. Take from the fire, add a tablespoonful of butter, the juice of a lemon, and the yolks of 2 eggs well beaten. Strain over the fish and serve. Salt codfish à la brandade. Cut the fish in pieces and soak in cold water for 24 hours. Put into fresh cold water. Bring to the boil and simmer for 20 minutes. Drain, bone, and cool. Mix to a cream with lemon juice and olive oil, adding a little milk if it becomes too thick. Season with salt, pepper, minced parsley, and garlic. Serve with toasted crackers and cheese. Stewed cod with oysters. Cut fresh cod into fillets and put in a baking pan with salt, pepper, and chopped onion to season. Add 1 cupful of white wine and the liquor of 2 dozen parboiled oysters. Cook slowly for 15 minutes. Take out the fish, thicken the sauce with butter and flour cooked together. Add 2 tablespoonfuls of melted butter. Season with lemon juice and pour the sauce over the fish. Garnish with the parboiled oysters and serve. Salted cod with brown butter. Soak the fish for 24 hours and prepare according to directions given for boiled salted cod. Drain, wipe dry, and fry brown in butter, adding a little minced parsley. Codfish steak. Cut the fish into steaks about 2 inches thick. Season with salt and pepper and let stand for 2 hours. Dredge with cornmeal and fry in salt pork fat. Sprinkle with lemon juice and serve. Broiled codfish steaks with bacon. Prepare the steaks according to directions previously given and serve with a border of thin slices of bacon, fried crisp. Broiled codfish steaks. Soak in salted water for 15 minutes, wipe dry, and let stand for an hour in olive oil and vinegar. Drain, season, and broil on a well-buttered gridiron. Serve with melted butter and minced parsley. Breaded codfish steaks. Season the steaks with salt, pepper, and lemon juice. Dip in egg and crumbs and fry in deep fat. Serve with any preferred sauce. Fried codfish steaks. Clean the steaks, sprinkle with salt and pepper, and dip into flour. Sauté in salt pork fat. Codfish steaks à la Narragansett. Fry the steaks with a chopped onion in butter, seasoning with salt and pepper. Take out and put a tablespoonful of flour into the frying pan. Cook thoroughly. Add 2 cupfuls of water and half a cupful of wine, and cook until thick, stirring constantly. Add 2 tablespoonfuls of butter. Season with minced parsley and lemon juice. Pour over the fish and serve. Codfish hash. Flake cold cooked cod. Mix with an equal quantity of mashed potatoes and season to taste. Cook until light brown in butter. Matelote of codfish. Mix together 1 cupful of oysters, 2 cupfuls of breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, 1 egg, and a small onion chopped. Stuff a small boned codfish and sew up. Lay the fish on slices of bacon in a baking pan and cover the top with bacon. Add sufficient boiling water and bake for an hour, basting as required. Stewed codfish. Flake cold cooked cod and reheat with butter, pepper, salt, minced parsley, cayenne, and lemon juice. Serve very hot on toast. Fillets of codfish. Clean and bone the fish and cut into thick strips. Put into a buttered saucepan with a little stock, season, sprinkle with minced parsley, and set into the oven covered with a buttered paper. Serve in a deep platter with a border of mashed potatoes. Fried cod. Prepare the fish according to directions given for fillet of codfish. Season, dredge with flour, dip in egg and breadcrumbs, and fry in deep fat. Fried codfish à la maître d'hôtel. Prepare according to directions given for fried codfish. Serve with a sauce of melted butter, lemon juice, and minced parsley. Fried fillets of codfish. Mix together 1 tablespoonful of olive oil, 2 tablespoonfuls of lemon juice, and salt, grated onion, and paprika to season. Soak fillets of codfish in this for an hour. Then drain, dip into beaten egg, then into breadcrumbs, and fry in deep fat. Drain on brown paper and serve with tartar sauce. Broiled codfish. Split the tail end of the fish and broil. Serve with melted butter, lemon juice, and minced parsley. Codfish pie. Prepare creamed codfish according to directions previously given, seasoning with grated onion. Fill a buttered baking dish and cover with mashed potato, beaten very light with an egg and a little cream. Rub with melted butter. Sprinkle with grated cheese and bake in a quick oven. Escalloped codfish. Prepare the fish according to directions previously given. Flake and prepare according to directions given for creamed codfish. Put into a buttered baking pan with layers of seasoned crumbs between. Add milk to moisten, cover with crumbs, dot with butter, and brown in the oven. End of section 12.